Hi, I'm Debbie Harbeck, and I'm a certified life coach working with women in midlife and through the menopause transition. So each week, I'll be sharing the latest information, inspiration, and generate some momentum so you can move forward and feel more in control of your changing midlife body and your life. Let's go. Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. So when I talk to women who are happy and healthy in their lives, often they tell me they've got supportive women friends. They've got a group of women friends or maybe a couple of best friends, but they've got supportive women in their lives. And as we age, I think our friendships with other women are really key because I think women are naturally supportive, we're nurturing, we're caring. But to be honest, for me personally, I haven't had many women friends in my life. I found it easier, especially in my younger years, to get along with guys. It felt like I think that there was less emotional drama, it was just less complicated, and it's probably because I didn't like dealing with emotions and complications when I was younger. So it's no surprise looking back that I chose to study engineering. It kept me in an environment that was mostly guys. Not to mention, I'm an introvert. So not only did I spend my days at school with mostly guys, even at work, I also spent a lot of time alone, reading and writing and running alone, even traveling on my own. And although all this was great, at some point I realized I missed having women friends in my life. And then when my body started going through this crazy menopause change, and I was missing having my mom around to talking to and supporting other women has become incredibly important to me. And this has become clear to me since I began this podcast. Because of the podcast, I've been purposely meeting a lot of other women and interviewing them. And I love the camaraderie and the connection. It's made me realize even more strongly that many of us are looking for connection with other women. And I truly believe we want to connect in a positive way. But in my life, as I mentioned, and maybe even in yours, connecting with other women hasn't always been easy. We as women can sometimes judge each other harshly, and we can feel threatened by other women when we compare ourselves to them. And that just ends up making us feel terrible about ourselves and even about them. And to be honest, this comparison thing about women isn't our fault. I was just reading this last year when I was going through my menopause coach certification through this organization called Girls Gone Strong. Molly Galbraith, who is one of the co-founders of this organization, she wrote a book called Strong Women Lift Each Other Up. And she was talking about this particular topic in the book. She said that comparison among women isn't our fault. It's actually been encouraged in the way that society tells us that we have to be thinner, we have to be better looking, we have to be smarter than the next girl in order to feel good about ourselves. So I saw this clip on social media recently where Pink is talking about being interviewed about her new album, which she says took her 3 years to create. And in that time, her father actually passed away. And yet the person interviewing her asked her what she thought about Madonna's face because of the plastic surgery and such. So Pink said, and I think she was right, was that this isn't progress. We shouldn't be talking about Madonna's face. If we're going to talk about Madonna, let's talk about the fact that she had this amazing impact on the music industry, that she is a powerhouse of a woman. But no, we focus on what does she look like? It's a problem that I think we as women have been dealing with forever. Women are judged and talked about more for their looks than their contributions. Men aren't asked these questions. They aren't asked about how other men look, at least not in this way. And just like when the Oscars happen and we talk about the best and worst dressed women, we don't talk about the men that way. It's no wonder we're a society of women obsessed with the way we look. And not only do we compare ourselves with other women, there are also lots of behaviors that can show up in groups of women, and I've experienced some of them, things like gossiping and complaining and gaslighting. But as harsh as we can be as women, I don't think that's the way we truly want to be. And in fact, I know that really we want to help each other. We want to be there for each other. We want to lift each other up. And I know that's who we really are. And I know that because a couple of years ago, I led a group of women in midlife, And the atmosphere was so supportive and so positive. And I looked forward to running that group every single week. There was something uplifting about sharing similar experiences. We didn't judge each other. And instead we encouraged each other, and there was a lot of caring in that group. And we also had a lot of laughs. There was a lot of humor, right? Because as difficult as this time can be in our lives, there are lots of things that are funny and bright and even beautiful. And so we need to recognize all of it, to not only share the bad, but also the good, and to comfort each other and to lift each other up and celebrate each other. So at this time of life, I think it's a key time that we as women need to come together, to listen to each other, to share what we're going through, because a lot of us don't know about this time until we actually get here, but also to celebrate and encourage each other. It's truly powerful when we support each other. We become even stronger emotionally, physically, spiritually. And this is what I love to do as part of my work. It comes through in my coaching. It's part of this podcast. And that's why this fall I am bringing a group of women together. We're coming together each week to feel better in all of these ways. There are several magical things that happen when women get together, and I want to talk about them. I think I have 6 or 7 of them that I have here. So the first one is that we feel less alone. And I know firsthand that this perimenopause experience can be a confusing and isolating time. It can feel like it's just you and no one else is suffering through this because nobody's talking about it. But when you have a supportive network, you feel less lonely because you're surrounded by women who are experiencing challenges similar to yours. And that's a good thing. The second magical thing about getting together is we feel more emotional well-being. So when you share your experiences and your feelings in an environment that's supportive, like in my group coaching or in any other group that's made for women, you can reduce your anxiety, you can reduce your depression and your stress. And it's powerful when you get emotional support from other women who understand what you're going through. It can positively impact your mood and your mental health. The third magical thing is that you get more knowledge and empowerment from other women. So as I'll be leading this group, I'll be sharing valuable information, resources, tips about managing your menopause symptoms. I do this also in my one-on-one coaching, but it's also an opportunity to share experiences and knowledge because I think we all have important things to share that can change another woman's life. The fourth magical thing is better coping strategies. So symptoms at this time, if you're experiencing any perimenopause symptoms or menopause symptoms, this can be tough, but so can life circumstances. Maybe your work is more stressful, or your romantic relationship is changing, or you're struggling with boundaries. We can all learn from others who have been there before, who have found their own ways to cope and get through this tough stuff. It's called wisdom. And we share our wisdom. We can help other women navigate this time with more ease and less pain and less discomfort if we just come together and share. The fifth magical thing would be building strong social connections. So when I talk about this group of women getting together once a week, it's about a community and a support network that you can lean on anytime. It's about building strong social connections. And as you may know, strong social connections are one of the best ways that we know to live longer and healthier. And the sixth magical thing is we can encourage each other when we make healthy lifestyle changes. So a big part of this group will be about making healthy lifestyle changes that will support you not only during this perimenopause or menopause transition, but also as you age. And if you're part of a supportive community, you'll have more motivation to adopt healthier lifestyle habits like regular exercise, better eating habits, stress management, and better sleep. The seventh magical thing I'll share here today is if you've been listening to the podcast, you'll know that advocating for yourself is important at this point on your journey. So increased advocacy and awareness. That's the seventh magical thing that happens when we as women can get together. We can advocate for better health care. We can raise awareness about menopause just by talking about it. And we can help break down the stigma surrounding this natural stage of life. And if we do this, we can get access to better resources, to support systems, and more understanding from the wider community, from our workplaces and our healthcare providers. So this is all really key. And these things happen when women can get together. And I just think it's such an important time of life to realize that we do have women around us. We're all experiencing similar journeys, and it's time we talk about it. It's time we help each other out here. So if you are looking for that, if you're looking for a group to support you or even just one-on-one support, you know where to find me. It's in the show notes. It's in this email if you're finding me through email or any of my social platforms. You can book a call with me through my calendar, or you can email me to get in touch with me, whatever. My mission is to help women feel less alone, to feel more emotionally well, to feel that they've got more knowledge, to cope better and to help others cope better, to make healthy lifestyle changes, and to advocate for themselves. So you've got my support. You just need to reach out to me. And with that, I am so grateful you chose to join me today. And if you enjoyed this episode, if you got something from it, I'd love you to rate it on Apple or Spotify or whatever platform you're using to listen, and maybe even share a takeaway or two. I would really appreciate it. And I'll be back next week with a fresh new episode, so keep moving forward and bye for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Midlife Momentum podcast. If you want to learn more about working with me, come visit me at debbiharbeckcoaching.com. That's Debbie, I-E, Harbeck with a C, coaching.com. See you next week.